Check yourself.
If Pyros and Crips all got along, they probably got me down by the end of the song. Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear
Well, there it goes. Alright. Let me quick pull it up over here. Well, alright, here we go. Alrighty. Well, week 1, I was not so good. But week 2, brought in an expert, G-Rob.
I won't call me that now. Hey, how's it going?
G-Rob's gonna go over the week's games with me. But first, we'll probably look back at last week. So last week, start off with the Dream Team, 142 points.
Yeah.
So like,
Being that triple captain though people did is a risky move, but it paid off for some people with Sterling.
the Dream Team though, so is this a team that you could have made, or just the best team at each position?
Yeah, I don't think I would have went with this sort of team, but like you especially with the Wolves, 2 centre backs, probably not either. But Rashford, a lot of people would have went with him. I can see why. He's United's main man, so everything's going to go through him now with Lukaku moving on. So I was kind of expecting him to score a couple, but and Dembele, nobody expected him to score. But yeah, Pogba's De Bruyne. People are taking a punt on him because of his injury record, but he's looking like he could do a lot this season again. So this is a pretty good team going forward.
So on the let's see here, the game week, best player was Sterling. Probably could have saw that coming. That's what I thought when I saw them going against West Ham.
Who did you captain?
I actually forgot to pick my captains and vice captains, so I had whoever the Wolf striker was, I think was my captain.
Oh, Jota or Jimenez.
And then I had Arsenal's goalkeeper as my vice captain.
Oh my goodness.
Because
like default.
Yeah, because that's what you want. Everyone thinks Arsenal's going to concede goals, so yeah, I'd make him my vice captain, obviously.
Yeah. Clever move. Differential.
But in the team of the week, or the dream team, we got De Gea in goal.
Yeah. That's a good choice. At least 6 million now, so you're going to see a lot of people jumping ship from Alisson straight to him. And
Yeah,
he's actually cheaper. Sorry, so like that's his price has actually risen to 5.6 now because of that, because of the switch.
I mean, he's
Ederson too.
guaranteed starter, so
Yeah, United look like they're shoring it up a little, even though they have conceded like actually a lot of shots in that game against that they just played there. I think it was 18 shots or something. I think only Aston Villa have conceded more. It was like 19 or 20 something. So I think it just shows like they're not really 100% solidified defensively yet. Man United, like everyone would like to think, Wolves is going to be a good test for them now coming up. we're going to see Wolves agree, and they're going to hit them on the counter too. So we're going to see.
Yeah, making fucking that right back they got. They're fucking trying to make him into a god. It's like it's chill out. It's one game against inferior.
He is good. I know what you mean. Yeah, because Wan-Bissaka, he is like he does like with Crystal Palace. Like if you looked at statistics, he was like when he was in there, he was constantly the one getting the bonus points for the defensive duties. Like so, I can understand where the reviews are coming, like notions are coming from. But yeah, it's only one game. That's the thing with this. It is all only one game. So there isn't enough sample size or data to really be making these calls as of yet. You know.
Right. At fullback, we got Peters from Burnley.
Yeah, he done really well.
I mean, he's a 4.5 price, so Burnley's and Burnley's known. I mean, at home they can fucking camp with the best of them.
Yeah, exactly. Last year was a little bit dip for them, but like they're known as Sean Dice's man. They always get like they grind out results. They're very hard to break down, and all of that. Like they have a great defense, like that's for sure. And he used to be at Stoke City originally for like a good year. He's a lot of experience in the Premier League. He's like 7 or 8 years experience. So, and he is known to get assists. So we could see a lot. He could be a good little 4.5 pick.
For sure. Maitland-Niles. I know of this guy because of FIFA. Youngster.
I love him, yeah, he's one of my favorite players.
On FIFA though, I end up usually putting this guy on the wing, not fullback.
Yeah, he's a good center mid also. Yeah, exactly. He's not really. He's originally actually a center mid. Yeah, like a box to box kind of CM style player. But because of our Arsenal's struggles with Bellerin and not having anyone else to come behind, like Jenkinson, come on, like he's garbage. You just moved him on to Nottingham Forest. Like he's a championship player at best. He's an Arsenal fan his whole life. He's actually got to live a dream, getting paid like $40,000-$50,000 a week to support and love Arsenal and to go play for them and actually never really get a game. And he's only played like 90 games over like 8-year spell or something like that.
Jeez.
So like he made a lot of money and he got to live the life like any fan would like. But anyway, back to Bellerin was injured, so I can see why Maitland-Niles has to play there, but it's not really his natural position. So I think people are unfairly criticising him a lot too. But he can get assists. He's attack-minded too. We've seen that with
Do you think he'll start most of the season, or like?
Yeah.
Is this like
so,
yeah?
Yeah, because last season he started most games, if not all, and because Bellerin did his ligament knee, and him and Holding are actually only months away, so people forget that. So Arsenal's defence will be looking a lot better when Rob Holding, which he's a great player, he's only young, promising too. He's going to come back in. He's very strong there. He's going to solidify that back four, and you're going to have Bellerin coming back and making the right back position his own again, which it always will be. So it's a stopgap for now. It's a band-aid, you know. What can you do? But we brought in young Tierney, left back, so he's an exciting prospect for fantasy football too, because we've seen what he done in Scotland now, winning back-to-back, non-stop winning his whole career, so he's a very attacking player too.
Next up we got Lewis Dunk from Brighton.
I'm so pissed over this. I had him in my team from day one, all the way up until like the
Friday I chose him too. He had a good season last season too.
Yeah, exactly. And Shane Duffy, fellow Irishman, I love him, but he was priced at 5.0. It's a little too high for me for that kind of Brighton defender, like to pay 5.0, even though he gets goals and he's known for it. Like, and Lewis Dunk doesn't usually get the goals, so he's a 4.5, a little cheaper. And Brighton are usually under Chris Hughton. They used to get a lot of clean sheets, or like not a lot, but they're more defense minded. But with this new manager, they're very attacking, and we've seen that against Watford 3-0.
Yeah, so I saw that. They're moving from the 4-3-3 to the 3 in the back.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not like them. They've got great players for that kind of system. So that's very interesting. I think a lot of people went for Trossard as well. He's a Brighton midfielder. He just came in, a Belgian player, I think, from Anderlecht. He's a big money signing for them. And everyone in pre-season, he's taking all the frees, like doing a lot of things like that. And then on the opening day, the manager decided to go with Gross because he has the Premier League experience, which is invaluable. So a lot of people, that was their punt, their little, I think, 6 million punt. So he's one to watch out too.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen power rankings. They got Brighton at 5. They really like the way they came out.
For
Um,
sure, he's very attacking minded this season. They're going to leak goals, I like as well, but we'll see. With Duncan Duffy are solid.
Bournemouth, Chris Mepham
Yeah,
was the is he a fullback?
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking almost. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to play, but Bournemouth, yeah, like they've been doing pretty good as
I
well. They like to
I
leak goals.
I wouldn't I wouldn't take a chance on this guy. I don't think he'll start that much. I
No,
mean,
they have
last season he
well,
barely played.
who's that? That Mapai fella, is it, or what's his name? How do you pronounce it?
I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, I think he's like because they were playing. Is he playing at the right? I think because Rico started at the left. Rico Borma, he's a 4 million pick as well. Very cheap. He looks very lively as well. He takes free. I see him stand over free kicks and corners. A good left foot, and he's only 4.0. So people should be looking at him too for Borma because they got 10 clean sheets last year. So it's not like they're useless or whatever. Like they don't get 10 clean sheets is a good number, but they've got a lot of trashings away from home. It's at home. They're very, very good. They're a good possibility of clean sheets.
Yeah, I went ahead and got Nathan Ake. Like I even liked him when
Yeah,
he was at Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yeah, he just
So
wasn't going to get his chance, and he's a
yeah,
quality player. You can see him move on to a bigger club in the next couple of years for sure.
you know,
I was hoping like,
because
sorry, go on.
what the Maguire going for however
Yeah,
much he went for, I think you could have got Ake for half the price and
oh for
maybe
sure.
you know
Yeah, and he could play left back predominantly. He was from up through youth to Chelsea. He was a left back, but because he got bigger, and he can play centre back too now. So he's a valuable player to have. And like Bournemouth do well. They get nice young talent, like English talent, for a good price. Like they've done the same with Solanke off Liverpool for like 15-20. Jordan Ibe off Liverpool. Like they'll take like kind of them borderline good players that are knocking on the door at bigger clubs but can't break into the squad, so they'll come and snap them up for 15, 25 million. Good business, like, and they're keeping that English core. Eddie Howe likes that English dynamic. I think, like like the British core is good at keeping it together.
right. Then you got the player of the week, Sterling. I mean, I think he's gonna be up.
Yeah,
He's gonna be up there. I
work
mean,
needed.
that's why his
Yeah,
fucking price is so high. I mean, he's gonna be up
yeah.
there all season.
I think anyway, you want to. Yeah, Sterling is just a must. If you don't have him in your team, you're crazy. Simple as. You're looking at top goal scorer probably this season, like, and he's just electric. Every year he gets better. So, and I can see City push on again to another level. So yeah, you'd be foolish not to have Sterling. And he doesn't even need any sort of stats. It's all backed up by his performances. So you
Yeah.
can see.
Mahrez. This is too
That's a
big of a
dark
gamble
horse.
for me.
I don't know, 8.5, I think he is, and yeah, he was a gamble, but now you see 3 assists. Him and Sterling look like they're linking up really good, and now with injuries and stuff, and now with Sané's ligament or like gone, he's gone for the season. Like so, that's Mahrez is going to get minutes and going to get time. Whereas before we could argue that he wasn't going to get the minutes, and it's
Right.
like it's but like now we can say he is going to get the minutes. And Bernardo Silva was put on the bench, which was another shocker for me. He's 8 million, but people are
Yeah.
taking the punt. Like De Bruyne is a little bit of a punt as well. He's like what 9.5, I think, so it's expensive, but you're guaranteed like when he gets going, like it's you're going to get assists and points. But like he's a little bit risky. I think Mahrez could be a good shout actually, like a little dark horse in there, like a little wild card player.
I wouldn't risk it. I mean,
Rotation.
and then I'm on the other side of it because I chose Bernardo Silva because he started all along, but Mahrez told Pep that he wanted to play.
Yeah. I know what the thing is. Like Bernardo Silva is Pep's like little golden boy. Like has looked like since he come in, he loves him, raves about him, and press conferences, all that stuff. So I think it was a bit of a shock. But like Mahrez is a quality player. Like, and now you're going to see that over the season. Like, and I think and like you said, he called up Pep and said that he came back because he was at the African Cup with Algeria, and he said all I need is 10 days and I'm ready to go. Like, which Pep loves that kind of attitude. So yeah, that's what
Yeah, and he said Bernardo had a little like
yeah,
little
I don't know about
whatever,
that.
but
I don't put too much value in that at all. Pep he's not really honest a lot.
right.
Times when it comes to that stuff.
Next we got the King of Egypt, Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, that's another no-brainer. If you don't have him in your team, you're silly. Like, as simple as. I think like previous seasons you could go one or the other. But this year, for some reason, if you just look at it, like you have to have both. And like the way Liverpool, it's going to be a title race again, and they're going to be smashing it. You're looking at 22 goals, 20 goals each. Like you got to like be getting them in.
And I mean, my buddy's a Liverpool fan, and they want to win the Prem. So
Yeah, for sure.
I would see early exits from these other competitions and just focusing on the Prem. So I definitely would pick him up.
So he's expensive though. See, that's the thing. You're picking 12.5 and it's starting 12 million. That's a big chunk of your budget gone. Your 100 million, but you can fill in the rest of the gaps. I think they're just a necessity. And we've seen that in the opening game, the opening weekend. Like fucking what was it, 40 something points, 50 points between the two of them. So
Right.
they're justified.
Harry Kane.
That's a good differential right there, and that's kind of one that's hurting me the most. If you look at, I'm analyzing other people's teams, and like Harry Kane was like the biggest, cost me a lot of points, like like differential points at the weekend. So I'm kind of like, and I can't fit him in, but see, I want to have Aubameyang, to be honest, and I don't know if that's my Arsenal kicking in, but I think and he's golden boot, like but if Harry Kane can keep it going,
Yeah,
we all know what he can do.
I like for Arsenal though. Lacazette, I think he's going to get some starts over Aubameyang, where I think Kane... Actually, you know what? I wanted to see Arsenal just fucking say, fuck it, put Aubameyang, Lacazette, and fucking Pepe out there, and let's see what's up. But
I know. I like the way he integrated. Like, Emery's too much of a tactician for that kind of mindset. And if you look at it, we fielded that 11 players. Our bench was the best bench I've seen Arsenal ever had. Like, David Luiz, Pepe... Like fucking Martinelli, all them boys. Like it's crazy the bench. Like we've never had a bench like that. Torreira, like fucking, it was crazy. So like, the future's bright, and if we can win a game like that, Newcastle 1-0, it just shows the depth we have. Like, but back to Pep, I know what you're saying. Yeah, Aubameyang though. See the thing with Lacazette and Aubameyang, they're going to play together. Like, and Emery knows now. As last year when he first was tinkering like with his system, trying to find out what worked. He was going to Aubameyang goes out the left, Lacazette up front. Lacazette's a workhorse. Like he's amazing. Like so. Put Aubameyang out the left, but you're not utilising Aubameyang as much because you want him up there. So I think he plays two up top. Then near the end of the season, it changed to like more than two of them playing more centrally together, working well together. And I think Lacazette picked up an injury on his ankle, so that's the only reason why we didn't see him against Newcastle. I guarantee if he wasn't injured, he would have played like with Aubameyang. The boat would have started. So I don't think there's any issue with Aubameyang and Lacazette minute wise. Lacazette could get dropped the odd time, but it's weird. Yeah, it depends on who we're playing.
Yeah, I'm torn on that. I know Harry Kane. I mean, I can't even name a fucking other striker for Spurs, to be honest. I mean, it's Son, but I mean, he's not even a forward. I mean, it's Harry Kane.
Ali's can kind of play like a centre forward.
Yeah.
Like false forward, but yeah, no, it's crazy actually.
But his price is up there again. I mean,
who?
Harry Kane.
Oh yeah, see that's it. But he's the lowest he's ever been. He's only 11 million now, where he used to be like 12 and stuff like that. So I think I can see him shoot up if he scores again now. See, we have to remember it was Aston Villa though, and it's like they weren't looking that good Spurs up until Eriksen came on, which we all know
that's true.
He's looking at leaving, like, and the European market is still open for another month. So he could be easily gone out the door to Juventus or Real Madrid. That kind of move is looking more likely. He wants to go to that next level. Like, let's be face it, like the Spurs are at a cap. Like, and I know, like, they're playing great football. I love Pochettino. I love the team he's built. But I know Spurs are always going to ball. They're never going to hit the high levels. Like, they never had it in their history.
They're not. I mean,
they're not a big club.
It could happen. You know, they got the new stadium, but
yeah.
I mean, they gotta have some more years of consistency. Because I mean, their owners aren't like fucking Man City, where they're just gonna fucking spend the cash. No, they want to just
mean man, yeah.
They just want to slowly build up, you know. So buying that new stadium, you know, now they're fucking. That's a step towards being a top dog, but I still think they're maybe, you know, 5-10 years away from like.
Yeah, they haven't established. It's the only thing going. They're a North London club. They have the prospect of London and money, and they can attract big players now. Like, and they got the Champions League final. Like, that's a big achievement. Like, but I knew they'd never win it. I knew. I bet my life on it with my friend. I was like, "There's not a chance in hell Liverpool are going to lose this game." Like,
right.
You know, Spurs cannot. They've never been at this level before. Liverpool are at this level. That's two level like Champions League finals in a row. Like, that's no joke. Like, that's very hard to do. That's very, very hard to do. That's why Liverpool are scary. But Man City have the league. It's always going to be their league. I can't see Man City letting it slip at all.
Well, and Spurs, I mean, Spurs, when you look at Spurs and then you look at West Ham, two teams going to London, Spurs did it the right way and West Ham fucked up.
Yeah. I know, West Ham was like West Ham tried to grow too big from what they were. Like, you know, it's like they were better off at Upton Park. And they're really good. And
Yeah, West Ham fucked it.
Yeah, it's because it's London, like you said. London, there's mad money there.
Yeah.
So they all look at Crystal Palace. Sure, they have even they're like South London. They're
Right.
decent. Like people want to go there. Like Gary Cahill chose to go there because he's staying in London. His family don't have to move. Like, you know, it's all London's a very attractive like thing to, like, you know, it's a place to go to. And that's maybe why Arsenal can still attract the likes of Pepe. But I think we're in a transition now where Pepe wanted to make himself. He wanted to go somewhere he could make an impact. That's actually what he said to his agent, I suppose. He wanted to go to a club like Arsenal because we needed a player like that. You know, we both needed each other like at that moment. So it's going to be a good partnership.
Then we got Rashford. Obviously, Rashford won't ever be on my team because I fucking.
That's the thing in fancy football, though. You can't. You have to keep your heart out of your decision making. You know what I mean? I've done that for so many years. I had 3 Arsenal players and they're not doing good, and not letting go of one of them because like I really wanted them to do well, and all that has to go out the window. You know, you have to pick the informed players for fantasy football.
I'm opposite. You gotta keep your ego intact. You'll probably lose, but it'll be worth
we
it.
all have our own styles. Yeah, you're right. That was my gung ho. That used to be my earlier approach. You know? I've just been the last couple of years because I have a league that I'm doing in Ireland for like the last 6, 7, 8 seasons, and I won it twice. Then my best friend won it. Then my other best friend won it. And now then this other guy's won it 2 years in a row. No one's ever done that since my first 2 victories. And then so like it's just interesting. I'm trying to get back. And then this year I'm like I need to concentrate and just go. I went solely to statistics and data, and like I'm trying to do it right, you know, and just not let emotion or like you know like knee jerk reactions like you're gonna see now. Like that's another thing I want to talk about. Did you see how Martial is looking good? I know everyone thinking Rashford, but Martial like is potentially could be an awesome pick, like 7.5. He's in that price bracket, like amazing, like fucking returns, like playing like that counter attacking style. He's a number 9 now. He's been given a number 9 jersey, so he's playing up there like, you know, as a centre forward. Like so like it's gonna be interesting. I think Martial could be actually but everyone's jumped. His price has already risen. That's the problem. Like everyone jumped ship immediately. They've got rid of Robertson from Liverpool. Like he was arguably their best. Like he was threatening so much. They played unbelievable. Was very unlucky not to get an assist or a goal. He even had a chance to score, but because Trent picked up the 2 assists, which I actually knew would happen, hoped to happen because I had him on my team, I went for Trent over Robertson. But like loads of amateurish mindset people have just been like straight away like sold Robertson. Like he's on Liverpool defense. Like, you know, it's silly. It's very silly. They're messing up the price brackets.
And the final is Ashley Barnes from Burnley. 2 goals. I don't know what to make of this. When I think of Burnley, I think of defense. I think of good defense.
Yeah,
always.
Of course. But like one thing with him, you have to give it to him. Last year, I think it was Wood scored a lot, and he was scoring again. The 2 of them, him and Wood up front. In pre-season, he's got a lot of goals, so he does score, and he scores goals like against good opposition. So I think Burnley aren't the Burnley of last season. They were weaker last season. I think this season they're going to be a lot stronger.
Next 3 games for Ashley Barnes: Arsenal, Wolves, and Liverpool.
Yeah. I mean, he's not. Yeah, I won't bring him.
No.
But he would have been a good point. See, striker. That's the one thing though about strikers. They can score against anybody on their day, you know. Whereas like a defense, you can go, oh, they're like Man City, you're going to slaughter them. Like I'm not going to pick a Norwich defender or a West Ham defender. But like with a striker, a Burnley striker, he could score against Arsenal. Like that's very possible. He's done it before. Like, and he could do it against Liverpool. So like that kind of weighs a little differently. But I know what you mean. I wouldn't go. You shouldn't be really substitute or transferring anybody right now in the first week. It's been 1 week. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough sample size. We don't have enough information to go making these decisions. Like, you know, you got to take your time because next week Martial might blank. And then Robertson might score, like, or get 2 assists. You know, the player, like, all in 1 week, it can totally change.
Also, you can save up that transfer too and have 2 the next week too.
Exactly, that's a smart thing to do. That's what I'm going to do, and any smart player should do that. Was keep your free transfer and move it to next week. You got 2, and if worse comes to worse, and you want to bring 3 players, even you could take a 4-point deduction, which isn't too bad. Which I won't advise, but that's 3 players that could freshen up your team. Do you know what I mean? And cover all the places that you wanted to change without using your wild card, which a lot of people might do in the next few weeks.
All right. Now we recap. Well, I guess we can go over the games.
Yeah, let's do that. Liverpool the first game, yeah.
Yeah,
4-1.
Liverpool, Norwich. I mean, I predicted a similar ass whooping. I think Norwich just came up to go back down. I don't think they're gonna.
Yeah. Well, they have, yeah, no, their defense is terrible. They've leaked, I think, the most goals in the championship last season. Like, I think some crazy number of goals, but they scored a crazy number of goals too. For a team that's been like automatic promotion, I think it's never been seen. Like they've conceded so many, but they scored like 90 something, some crazy number of goals. But I think you've seen that a lot where teams that are getting promoted now aren't just sitting there and like going to take the beatings that they're going to come anyway. So I think their mindset is like, let's go out, let's go play our game, let's like be confident, let's be brave, and let's go and like let's try your best. Like, and I think anyone would have known tomorrow's score would have been 4-1, 4-2. But Norwich can score goals. It's just about kind of not conceding.
You went over all the teams in the league. No, we're just going. We'll touch on everything. I think. I mean, we'll go over scores and stuff, Raiders. So I mean, we'll just talking footy, man. If you guys want to talk, comment, go ahead, man. I mean, I'm open to anything. Kind of just this is fun for me, man. I love talking this stuff. So Van Dijk, Origi, Salah.
Yeah, see, that's it. I went with Van Dijk, thank goodness, over Robertson. And a lot of people are going Robertson and Trent kind of like both, like whatever. But I was thinking Robertson, just wasn't feeling it with Robinson at all. So I was like, I'm going to go with Van Dijk because he can get the goals and he just on the clean sheet and he just did it. So it was a good call. So Van Dijk's at a 6.5. It's a very good option to have in there. You should be doubling up in Liverpool defense realistically because look at what they did last year. Look at the clean sheets, 22 clean sheets, I think, and then City not far behind. You should have realistically 2 Liverpool defenders because I know pre-season they were looking leaky, they were conceding goals pre-season. That was the one thing that was worrying. They weren't looking very solid, and even against Norwich, they weren't looking very solid.
Right.
I'm thinking a better team might fucking score 1 or 2 more, but Pukki got his goal again. Like everyone was thinking, Pukki, can he make the transition from the Championship up to the Premier League level? And yeah, I think he can. I think a lot of people think he can. So you might see a lot of people switching to him now as a 6.5 option from the likes of Jota for Wolves, which they shouldn't do because Jota is top quality and could have scored 2 in another day. So you got to we don't have enough sample size yet. So this is all kind of like just feeling it out. But yeah, I would be definitely getting 2 or 3 Liverpool players, if not more.
Yeah, and with even with Allison going out, I think they're gonna be fine. This Adrian guy just won them the game today, so fuck.
Yeah, he got screwed. I don't want my West Ham let him go. It's great. He's not a bad keeper by any means, but yeah, he might rise up a little. You know, it's a good transfer for him. So why not? He's a good shot stopper, like he showed today in the cup game, Super Club.
Next up, we got West Ham, Man City.
West Ham, Man City, yeah. What a game that was. Must be good for you, Man City supporter.
Yeah, well, so halftime, I mean, it's only 1-0, and I'm like, what the West Ham looked like they came to play, actually. And then it just went to shit, like, real bad. So,
it did, yeah, for sure, but I kind of knew. I think they always hammer, like, especially Pellegrini as well. He always seems to get a battering when it comes to play against his old club.
I'll say as a Man City fan, if you're looking for 3 players on Man City, I'll go with Sterling, Ederson, and then
Zinchenko is my little pick, but the reason why I know people can argue rotation, but there is no left back to take his place. Mendy, obviously, but Mendy's been out injured for on and off, and I feel like there's something more going on there between him and Pep. I don't think he likes his attitude, and I think there's more there than just that injuries, but that's for another day. But like, and then I also think I think Zinchenko is a perfect 5.5 cheap. You're going to cover the Man City clean sheets, but you're also going to get some assists, and because he is a left midfielder,
right?
And he's playing there, and he's got 3 assists last season, and he only played a number of minutes, so. I would, Sterling and Zinchenko you should definitely have, and Ederson you can't go wrong. Now that people are going to have the Alisson move to make, the 6 million goalkeeper, which I would never spend that much money on a goalkeeper, but that's just me. I like the approach of like a 4.5, and like it's a lot, because think about it, like a goalkeeper, you want them to get save points.
Right.
Like the likes of Ederson and Alisson aren't going to get a lot of save points because the defense in front of them is so good that they're going to be limited to the shots that they're going to concede. So
right.
you want like Pope. Look at Pope, got 8 points for Burnley because he had to make saves and he got 8 points. And I look at Matt Ryan for Brighton. He got 9. He was like the star goalkeeper, which I also had in my team. I took out last minute, but it just shows that like the 4.5 goalkeepers are a great option. You free up that money then to spend elsewhere, like up front or where it's more important. Like 1.5 million is a lot of money to spend on a player.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking, up front, I mean, a guy can get you over 200 points, where a goalkeeper is, you're going to be in the mid 100, like 150 ish in there with one of the top goalkeepers. So definitely got
Fabianski from West Ham. He proves it the last 2 seasons, like getting unbelievable save percentages. Like it's top. I think he was top saves in the whole league, and that's at West Ham. So don't worry about I don't think the bigger options. But Alisson is interesting. Who did you have in goals, Ederson or Alisson?
I actually chose Arsenal's goalkeeper, thinking that he'll rack up the saves because their defense could be suspect.
Well, I'm hoping that's the case. Well, not even the suspect part, but racking up the saves. But I think it's a little early for an Arsenal. We still don't know how they're going to be or react.
Next up, we got Cherries versus the Blades. Mepam, Wilson.
That was disappointing as hell, I'll say that much, because I put so much into that. I put Wilson and King were both my forwards, which is something I didn't really want to do. I had Fraser-Wilson combination going on. I thought that was going to work well, but then Fraser just wasn't doing it in pre-season for me. I watched a couple of pre-seasons and I looked at statistics, and I think his head was turned a little bit from the Arsenal kind of we're looking at him, and I think he 14 assists in the Premier League is no joke last season. 7 or 8 goals. That's top level stuff for a young Scottish man, 25 years of age. So his head was turned a little bit. So I decided to go away from him, which actually worked out in the end because he came out with 1 point. And I'm against Villa. I'm hoping against Villa coming up, their next game is where I'm gonna get my points where I missed out on in the first week. So I'm gonna hold fate with them for another week or two and see what happens.
Next up,
Sheffield United looked great. Actually, sorry.
Go ahead.
Played their football. See, Sheffield United came up. We were talking about the lesser teams coming up and being whipping boys or whatever, but they're all coming up with a purpose, Sheffield United has a great Irish contingency, which I'm very proud of. They have 4 Irish players, which is a long time since that's happened on a team. So I'm and I think they played really good. Callum Robinson, he's a 5.5 differential forward pick. He's actually really a midfielder, but he's been played as up front the way you see Perez or the way Sterling might play as a centre forward. So you're kind of getting an out position player playing up front, which is for 5.5 is pretty good, and he also nearly scored. So. Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what'll happen now with these promoted sides.
All right. So in the third game, or this next game, Burnley versus Southampton.
3-0 Burnley. That was a bit of a surprise, huh?
So Angus Gunn started in net for Southampton. I know him from Man City.
Yeah, young Man City, man. He was actually, would you believe, my first goalkeeper in my draft, but I just thought, because I like him and I like Southampton, he's going to get another guy that's going to have to make a lot of saves this season. But I'm lucky I didn't go with him, huh? That was for sure.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse. I remember when I thought he was going to be something special.
Yeah, he has some glimpses, doesn't he? He still has potential. He's young and he doesn't. He might get more games under the new manager.
I mean, there used to be the argument. I mean, is it going to be Ross Barkley or is it going to be Ward-Prowse? That's the level he was on, but I don't.
He never really hit them. Yeah, that's true. But I think he's a good dead ball, especially good free kicks, good in corners. Yeah, just doesn't have that full package. Whereas Barkley would be more considered a hot prospect, really top, we're call him a Gascoigne kind of level player, one of their best ever English internationals. Right. So he is just still waiting for him to tip on. I also believe this is his year under Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard has gone for youth, which I also predicted before the season even happened. I knew that these top, more clubs like Solskjaer would go with youth, because that whole Man United, they needed fresh. You don't need no mercenaries like the Sanchez and all them kind of players looking for the big paychecks, and it's just going to fill the holes and it ends up falling apart. I mean, shit. Anyway, the Falcaos and all that. United were throwing money millions of dollars on ridiculous players. I didn't it just had to go back to basics. Look at your academies are there. You got players that are loyal, that know that Chelsea, that know Man United inside out. He worked on at younger age levels that the scene come up. So like, look what United did. They went and bought like young English talent, Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, like good
Oh
young
yeah,
English players, like like good solid core players, are young, hungry, they want to play for the badge. Like fuck these mercenary shit. Like get the young. Look at Phil Foden for Man City. Tell me he doesn't love that club, and he's
right.
gonna play for that club forever, like as long as he can, and give it everything. Like that's a lot I want over a Di Maria or whoever like comes in. Like I don't want them big players like that.
Yeah, I, it's a shift. Everyone's making that. It's the young players now.
Yeah,
It's like the
that's
shift's
what,
been made.
well, yeah, Frank Lampard's hands have been kind of tied in that sense, where the transfer ban for 2 years, losing Hazard, like just stuff like that. So he had to kind of look within the club. And I want my Chelsea have the best academy in England. Like, look at the talent they've produced. They
Right.
kept having to sell on, like, and not use. And even De Bruyne came through there, like Salah at one point. Like, like look at them now. Like, it's crazy. Like what they
Yeah,
produce.
I think the Chelsea thing's a blessing in disguise for them.
It is.
And they
It
should
is, but
just.
it's a good, yeah.
And instead of like having these high standards of like, oh, Lampard's lost 3 games or whatever, just let him fucking ride it out during this transfer thing and see what happens.
Exactly. Like, and he will have a lot of credit with the Chelsea fans, as we all know, because like he's a legend, a living legend right there. Like he's not long gone. They love that man. So like in the same way they love Solskjaer as well at United. Like these men are going to get a lot of time, a lot of credit with the fans. I don't see fans turn on them two managers at all. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take, and I don't think to look at Chelsea tonight against Liverpool. They looked a different team, you know.
Right.
He's got to give it. He took a risk, and he should have played Giroud. He was a risk letting David Luiz join Arsenal. I know he thinks, oh, he's 32, I'll move him out. Like, I got the young Zuma coming in, had a good year at Everton the season before. Like, with Zuma, we've seen the mistakes he made again. It's
Yeah.
not like David Luiz is a lot more capable, and that 4-0 might not have went down like that if David Luiz was in the starting lineup. And Giroud. And Olivier Giroud would have scored that Tammy Abraham chance, stuff like that, But
Yeah.
he's in that mindset, like we said, he wants to go with the youth, he wants to give them a chance. But today he started with Giroud up top, and Giroud got the goal. So it just shows like you gotta balance experience with youth. I think that was a lesson for Frank Lampard last week.
I think Abraham missing that, game winner today is probably gonna be better for him in the long run than if he would have made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Good learning, good experience for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up, Crystal Palace versus Everton, 0-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
I picked Richarlison from Everton, but
So did I.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not really sold on that pick.
See, I'm gonna give him another week. That's a funny thing because no one's talking about him. Like nobody's really talking about him. He's 8 million. He's expensive.
When he was at fucking Watford, you thought he was Neymar. They were fucking on him I'll talk about him all the time.
Yeah, see, he is, but like, see, he was last year. He was a good pick. 'Cause he was 7 million, so people were picking him. He's like kind of like a Saha or like a Six Perez pick right now. So it was a bit cheaper risk to take. And if you look at his stats, the last 2 seasons for Watford when he first signed with them, the first half of the season he scored a lot of goals. Like he scored like 10 goals or something in the first like not even 20 games. I think he's done the same. Then the following year with Everton, he scored a handful of goals in the first 10 of fixtures. So he's known to start the season very strong and to score a lot of goals. So that was in the back of my mind with my decision. I was thinking maybe I should take a chance. No one's talking about him at 8 million. It's a high differential, but Skippy Sigurdsson was the other option. Everyone was going for him, so I was trying to get a little differential going with some old data,
Right. With Everton though.
Saha, look at Saha as well. He actually put in a shift for a guy that was looking at a move to Arsenal, Everton that didn't fall through. Like so,
Yeah.
he could be back in the cards. A 7 million pick. I'm thinking he's looking pretty like he's
Actually,
get to him,
Yeah. Now that you say that, Zaha might be a good pickup. I might actually do that because
exactly.
he's at Crystal Palace. He's got to fucking be there, so he's got to perform.
Oh man, and his numbers are great. Like he scored 10 goals last season, like 11 assists. It's getting better every year. And he was the first dude in my team too, like the first midfielder I had. He was the first one in there. But as the whole Arsenal drama and Everton drama, and I was even more excited because I thought, oh, he's going to sign for Arsenal. That's me covered on an Arsenal aspect too, and he's going to get way more opportunities to score, way more assist potential with the likes of, the Lacazette and Aubameyang compared to fucking Palace. Like, so I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. And then he started looking for transfer requests, and Everton was on the cards. Arsenal fell through, and I just had to get rid of him because his mindset wasn't in the right place. So anyone that has Saha right now, you shouldn't have him because his mind. You have to look at all them external factors, and they all play into the part, like transfers and mindsets of players, and everything takes a toll.
And then Max Meyer for Crystal Palace. I thought this dude was going to be fucking Christian Eriksen.
Everyone did. He just had that kind of rep from Germany. Schalke. He's younger. He's like Arsenal we're looking at, and we all thought, yeah, we want him to Arsenal, and obviously the big clubs haven't gone for him in them 4 or 5 years. Like, so I know what Palace was the best he could do because he wanted to be in London. That's probably the only London club he could get. Like, we should go back to our previous talking about London clubs, like, because he would have like surely went to Tottenham. He's obviously not on the level, but. Yeah, I'm still waiting. He's still an interesting kind of guy to keep an eye on overall, but definitely nowhere. You want to put him nowhere near your fancy football team. We should what's his name? The Milovic. I can't even say it. Milivojevic fella that takes all the penalties for Palace. He had a great season last season and the season before, so he's the kind of guy to watch. He takes all the penalties and he has like a 90-some% success rate. I don't think I've ever seen him miss one.
Dude, it's kind of funny. Like, I'm looking at these players on these teams for Everton and Palace, and this is like if I did FIFA career mode, I had some of these youngsters. They just didn't pan out. Like Bernardo, when he used to play for Schalke, or not Schalke, but
Donetsk.
Shakhtar. That's what they had.
Yeah, little Brazilian. He's good. I know. Yeah.
And then
Everton built a nice little squad. Yeah.
Digne, I think this is a good pick.
I love him. Yeah, he's great.
Solid player.
But like my boy Seamus Coleman though, my Irish, like I love him. Like, and he is he's 5.5, a little cheaper. Nobody's really talking about him, but his open, he nearly scored a goal at the weekend. Before that, like I see him play for Ireland. I see him play for captain for both club and country. He's a quality player. Like, he had a horrendous leg break. I put him out of picture for the last year or two, so that's why Digne burst on the scene, and everyone forgot what Seamus Coleman used to do, but he scores goals from open play.
Oh no, yeah, he was solid. Like him and like Leighton Baines. I mean, that was like the fullbacks you wanted.
Yeah, Leighton Baines is probably the best fullback I've ever seen in fantasy football, just for the ability, like, because he takes frees and penalties and like just assists all day. And what a player he was. He's still on the fringes there, but there's no way you'll ever see him old again. He's way too old, but yeah, if that makes me feel old, because he was the prime of his life when I was like younger. But yeah, but he's definitely. Well, I think Seamus Coleman is a good, but I went with Luca Digne instead. So that just shows you. I still think the ability for a fullback. I think fullbacks are the new future of football. I think everyone knows that by now. Like the number 10s, the luxurious Ozils and all that kind of that's gone. Like there's no room for that. You want workhorses in your midfield. You want like the way Liverpool have treated like Henderson's, White Allen. You want like the workhorses. Like you want the guys that are gonna. You don't want the fancy players anymore. You want lads that are gonna just work their bollocks off in that midfield to get the ball back, to pressurize, to do all them things for the transitions, everything. But your wing backs are so important. Like look at Trent, look at Robertson, look at Alonso, look at Spilicueta, look at anywhere you want. Like any of the top clubs have great like wing backs. They get forward, Bellerin, they get forward, they put great balls in. Like they're giving you that. That's why when I play FIFA, even I try to implement that. Like I like to get forward a little bit, like the spread. You stretch the defenses. You can cut, like you give that extra level to attack now. And like look at the assists last year, proves it. Look at Robertson and Trent. They're like the highest assists that any defender's ever got. Like Trent got like 13 or something in the season. Like come on, like the proof is there. Like it's crazy. Like it's mad. It's like a Walker. Look at Zinchenko. That's why I'm hoping Zinchenko will follow that suit, you know, and he's seen it the other last week. He was looking good against West Ham. Well,
I mean, Zinchenko's a fucking cam for his national team, so I mean,
exactly, like a left, attacking mid. So yeah, exactly. So I'm pretty happy with that. So like, it just shows though, like that's why you got to be getting these wing backs in your team. I think football's transitioned from that now, where they're the most important factors, like of football. I think a right back, a left back, because also they take free kicks. That was my whole point. It was meant to be. Digne takes free kicks, corners, so does Trent, so does like even that Rico fella that Bournemouth just got for $4 million. That looks like he's odds-on favourite, like to start every game now. He's even standing over free kicks, and I was looking at him and getting things like assist potential and like corners and stuff, you know. So left-foot players and right-foot players, they're very important to the attack.
Next up, we got Watford versus Brighton, and I was fucking off. I didn't know Brighton changed coaches, changed philosophies.
Yeah, that Potter fella came in, because Chris Hughes is another Irish boy, like, and I liked him. He always seems to never get the raw end of every deal, like managerial. Always like he got Newcastle promoted, got them up to the top flight, got sacked the next season. Did it with Norwich, got sacked. Brighton has no right to even be up where they are. Like the last few years, you've been keeping them up there, like with
Right.
limited budget, with limited players, and then it's not good enough. Then it's like, oh, now we got the taste of the good life up here in the Premier League, like the last 3 seasons. Like maybe we need something different. We want something more exciting now. You know what I mean? It's like getting a little greedy, if you ask me. So that's another thing you want to watch out for. But this guy is a good manager. Like I think it's Gary Potter. He likes to play expansive, like attacking football, very counter, very positive, very fast. Like all the shit that we're seeing all the managers try and do now to come up. So I'm thinking Brighton are going to be a force. Like, and I knew that anyway. They're going to score goals. You're going to see them a lot more attacking than they used to be. But they still have the core of like the Dunks and Duffys and Ryan that are solid, like defensive players that can get the clean sheets and get the points like defensively. So it could be a great balance right there. You know, it's very interesting to see. I didn't expect them to beat Watford 3-0. That's another team that do well. They usually, you know, Watford at one stage were doing like 2 training sessions a day, like more than anyone else. We're doing some crazy regiment of like pre-season workouts. I was reading up, like it was madness, and we're like, it was, and we're fucking, because he wants them to be super fit, and he's done it the last 2 seasons, but it obviously hasn't worked. I think he's run them into the ground maybe a little bit too much. You know, that could be an issue too.
And I saw Everton, they put in a big fucking offer for Abdoulaye Doucouré, or I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Doucouré from Watford, Doucouré, yeah.
But
big centre mid player.
They turned it down.
Like I know he's a very instrumental player for them. Like I think Arsenal, I was crying out for Arsenal to go get him before we got Torreira, and I was thinking, imagine him slipping in beside Xhaka or Oz behind Ozil and that, and like I was thinking that's what we need, a big, like another Vieira, another like Gilberto, like a big strong man like in there, like
right.
a proper baller, like we don't like, but Torreira is a little terrier, so I'm happy with that too. But yeah, Decore's he got the own goal again.
Yeah.
Watford was very surprising, like, and then Delafeu was another guy we got to touch on the Watford, because that was a kind of 6.5 differential for a lot of people to go like and thinking like he could, and he is ability. He scored like 10 goals last season too, like young Barcelona like lad.
Yeah.
Like, he's a quality player. Like it's just, he was actually probably the worst player supposedly on the pitch. I didn't see the game, just reading and listening to things. He's probably the worst. He was taken off, I think, at half time or something crazy. So that's the kind of, a lot of people are pissed over him. But he's another guy that you got to give a little bit more time, and he will become good again. You know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's quality, yeah. But it's Ryan again, the keeper Matt Ryan. I'm kind of raging. He got 9. He's the best keeper of the weekend. I think De Gea actually, sorry, in the end. But to me, a 4.5 like keeper getting 9 is pretty good. Like
that
so
is.
I'm kind of like, yeah. So I'm pretty kind of, and his fixtures look great. Like he has great fixtures coming in the next few weeks, compared to like Pope has like Arsenal and Liverpool. And,
right.
Oh, I'm like, fuck. But I'm hoping, like I said, I want my keeper to make saves. Like so, the more saves he makes, literally, the better it is. Kind of wise, you know, like obviously you don't want to get hammered 3-0 or 4-0, but if he can make 5, 6, 7, 8 saves a game, that's a lot of bonus points, and a lot of points. That 4.5 million is worth the lesser money, I think.
Up next, Spurs, Aston Villa.
Yeah, see, that's another one. See, everyone's now on, like McGinn. Let's start with him, Mike. I love McGinn. Happy he got the goal as well. I look at pre-season, he's a little terrier, a little demon, another Scottish lad, just a little demon of a player, and I think the way he plays, did you see him? Like he's crazy. He got that goal. He's so combative. He just gets stuck in. Like I can see why he gets a lot of yellow cards. That's another like an issue with him. He gets a lot of yellow cards. So like you don't want that in fantasy football. Like that's minus points like in that. But it doesn't matter. He scores. Like he's a great little player and that. And he's at 5.5. He's a great little differential to bring in there and free up some money to spend up front. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, their schedule to start off isn't the hardest either.
Not that bad. No, it's unknown because we don't know. We've never seen them at this level yet. Villa's a big club. Let's not get it wrong. Villa's a top big club. They've a good history. Have won a lot of shit over the years, like back in the day. The Water Club, gets promoted and splashes 150 million. Like, that's a big club right there. Like,
right.
Not a lot of clubs can do that. Like, and he basically bought like 11 new players, and they're all good players. Like, because I looked at Fulham did it last year. Fulham came up, threw 100 million at it, like another London club. See, that's why they can do that. Like, they threw 100 million at it, and they bought the player. A lot of players I didn't even want. I was just looking at going like, what is this? It's like a mash of players. I knew it wasn't going to work out. It's crazy. Like, but then you look at what Dean Smith's done at Villa. Went out and John Terry. They went out and got a load of players that add to every position, like basically another 11, like a Premier League standard almost. Like, they brought in on top of their championship, got rid of like 9 or 10. They basically got half their squad gone, brought in another half of higher quality players. Why they had to go spend that money? Tyrone Mings was on loan from Bournemouth. Like, he's a quality player. You seen him against Villa or against Tottenham. He was stopping everything. He was doing the Van Dijk on it. So I was like, this is like, so Villa are going to do really well. I really think they are. But it's just like, then look what happens. I think they should have got like something out of that game, but then Harry Kane now got the 2 goals, so everyone's talking like Harry Kane's like we got to get Kane in. And don't get me wrong, we all know Harry Kane's amazing and that, but like last season wasn't great for him, and this season like he's a lot of niggle injuries building up to this, but he scored like them 2 goals, but well he wasn't doing much until Eriksen came on the pitch. And if you look at the statistics, Eriksen got 3 key passes like.
Yeah, Eriksen changed the game when he came in.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I'm worried if Eriksen does make that move in the next 3 or 4 weeks to Juventus or to Tottenham or to Real Madrid or whoever, that's that gone out of that team. That thing. And so, like, who's going to replace and where are them 3 key passes coming from?
Yeah, then he said Lo Celso or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, they got that.
I can't put him on Eriksen's level. Eriksen's world.
Oh, different level, man. It's like the way Modric was when he was there, and then he had to move on to Madrid. Like, you know, these are top players that aren't going to stay like at Tottenham forever. Like, you know, I think I'm not having a dig at Tottenham, like, but even at Arsenal, like, why do you think Van Persie left to go to United? Like, won the league straight away. Like, he was scoring 30-odd goals. I see, what the fuck is it? He's getting 28, 29. Do you think he wants to, like, not win anything in his career, even though he was playing that good? Like, you can't, like, the way, like, and then, like, Nasri and Galicia, they all jumped ship, and they all sang down, went to Man City on out of Bior, like, and even though, like, some of them were kind of sneaky, and I don't agree with a lot of them, like, you know, but I kind of, if you look at it, you've one career, like, if you're lucky, it spans 10 years, like,
right.
You're not going to spend your, like, and I love Arsenal, I'm sure they love the Arsenal or whatever, but we knew what Arsenal could be, but with so many things were going wrong at the club with Wenger and with not having the right players and not spending money because we built a new stadium. And we built a stadium in 2006, a 65,000 seater back 2006. We were the first to be doing this shit. Like, the way now they're all following suit 10, 13 years later. Like, we had to pay for that stadium back in 2006 all the way through. We were told, we can't spend money. We were still qualifying for Champions Leagues. We had Shamak, we had all these fucking Scalacci, all these horrible players, and we were still qualifying for Champions League year after year. We overachieved for so many years, and yeah, it's just crazy. I just went on a tangent there about Arsenal, sorry.
Almost there.
Yeah,
Leicester Wolves 0-0.
Yeah, that was disappointing also, wasn't it? Did you have Jota up there?
Yeah, I did.
Jimenez, but I looked at the replays. He could have got 2 goals with the way it looked. So
I think I might pick up Ruben Neves. Just because he's their free kick taker.
Well, I'll give you this one. No one's talking about this. Gian Matinho scored like 7 or 8 free kicks last season or more? Maybe 10 if I'm not mistaken. And he's only 5.5, and he is like a dead ball specialist. Like, that's a lot of free kicks to get. But Ruben Neves, I love Ruben Neves, but he's just more of a centre mid, kind of like a strong box to box. But like, will he get as many goals and assists as the likes of Jimenez or like even Den Donker, man, is 4.5. He scored a goal against Leicester that was disallowed. A volley, like handballed him, but it's a kind of tough handball. You know, it's like VAR is kind of like that wouldn't have been given otherwise the VAR, like, because it was more like it wasn't a very purposeful handball, and he was very unlucky basically not to get the goal. So that's Den Donker looking like he could have scored. So I think I was very disappointed with Leicester, to be honest, because I put a lot into like Perez. I thought like he looked great in pre-season. He's scoring goals. He was playing up front with Vardy in like in a top 2 for like 4-4-2 or whatever. So I was thinking, oh, brilliant! Like, and then Premier League opener comes and he's playing right out left mid, like far away from the goal as possible. And I'm thinking, oh, like, you know, so kind of that was a bit of a disappointment. And yeah, look what happened, 0-0. So I'm kind of disappointed over that as well. But I think Jota, if you have Jota, hold on to him. Don't go getting rid of him. Or he's 6.5. I know, like, they're playing Man United next, but Wolves, as we know, do well against the top big clubs. They've done it last year. They will do it. They're not afraid of the big teams whatsoever. And I think you're going to see a lot of them slaying some big names again this season. I think Man United that's a perfect place, because we're going to see now if United what they're made of, like, because anyone can play the way they did. I suppose like Chelsea, there's so many things going on there. You know what I mean? It's kind of the scoreline doesn't really say the whole story of you know what I mean, the meaning of the game. So you can't really judge it on that. United are going to do amazing, but like, don't get me wrong, their counter attacking looks off the hook, which is amazing, and that's why I'm looking at Martial, I'm looking at Rashford. But like defensively, they still conceded more shots than like the second most in the league. That game again, I think Villa were a promoted side, beat them to it for number 1 most conceded shots and targets. So that's not very confident. Do you know what I mean? I'm not very confident in that. Like, a better opposition. Like when Chelsea, not heavy ever, like put a proper striker up there. Like they're going to take them chances. You know what I mean? And that's like, they hit the post. Tommy Abraham hit the post. Emerson hit the post twice. That's 2-0, 3-0 Chelsea. Totally different game.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, we got to look at that. Like, but yeah, it's fucking. I think United will do well, but I'm going to look at the Wolves game. Everyone should be looking at the Wolves game. If you're thinking of bringing in Martial, or you're looking at taking out Jota for Pookie or something, you got to be watching. Just give it another weekend. You know what I mean? Get some more sample size in.
Newcastle Arsenal.
Yeah, this one here now.
Do Matt always on fucking
solid.
Newcastle, and usually decent.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. Like, a lot of Arsenal fans are all happy, and I understand why, because we were missing a lot of players, and like, it was solid. It's like the old Arsenal, like 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's what we used to be, like 1-0 Arsenal. Like, that was our specialty. Like, so I don't mind if we win a game 1-2, 3-0. It's still 3 points, so I'm happy. But we're don't get carried away. This was a Newcastle side that was like, they're going through some.
I think they're fucking. They're gonna get relegated, dude. I don't know why they didn't keep Rafa. Like, I never read into the story, but that was fucking stupid.
Yeah. There's two sides of it. Rafa basically says that there was no cohesion between the board and him. Like, he basically had like 3 meetings with them over the space of all the years. Like, he said when he went to that Chinese club, he said, I'm after having more interaction with the people up top than now in the last week or two than I've had in the whole time at Newcastle. So he was having a jibe with him in that sense, and they were saying he wanted more money and all this, and Mike Ashley reckons he wanted more money. He did it for money and blah blah. But he was thinking, I think he just didn't really have faith in Mike Ashley anymore. But this is a good little thing to know. Steve Clark was the manager before Rafa. He got to spend a lot of money because he got promoted or whatever. And I like Steve Clark. He's a good manager. He's at Chelsea for a while and a lot of other places. But he got to spend a lot of money. Then Rafa comes in. He gets no money for like 2-3 seasons. Like, does unbelievable. 12, 13 finished in the league with no money. Like, just a tactician. I love Rafa. Great manager. Then he's like, I want money or whatever. Then they go and get rid of him, sell Perez, their best player, whatever, this and that. And then they go and Steve Bruce to bring in, right? Like, this guy has like one of the lowest win percentages of any manager in England. Like, he's basically a championship manager. That's it. He's a good championship manager. And he has he's not. I like him though. That's the thing. I feel bad about him. I actually like Steve Bruce. He's a really nice guy. I just don't think, and I hope he does well. I don't want him to do bad. But then they go back to my point. Then they go and hand him like 90 million. Here, go buy your man up front, Joe Ilton, for 40 million. Go buy this lad for 20. He goes and splashes a lot of cash. Like, why did Mike actually not give Rafa Benitez, a Champions League winning manager, a fucking Europa League?
No idea.
Real Madrid, like. Why did he not get the 90 million to spend? Like, I do not understand it. But anyway, that's Newcastle. That's why the Newcastle fans are distraught. They want Mike Ashley gone. They want him to sell the club. He was nearly like inches away from selling it to an American company, but they reckon that he was too greedy on the fine points of like the margins. So I don't know. And then I feel like sorry for him. I don't know. It's a dilemma, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so like Sheikh Mansour, apparently his.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his brother or his cousin. Yeah. He was looking at Newcastle, Leeds, and I think Aston Villa.
Yeah, but like, supposedly he said, like, they always ask for proof of funds. So they're like, oh, show us the funds, whatever. And he's like, he couldn't really back up he couldn't really produce the funds. He was just doing it through another medium. And they were like, that's kind of shady shit. So I think they never really thought he had the funds to begin with. But I'm sure them Sheiks do have it, yeah. But Arsenal are looking good. Like, we've a lot of injuries too. Come back to our fixture. So
oh yeah, this is what I was gonna actually ask you. So like for City, I chose my 3. As an Arsenal fan, if you're gonna field 3 gunners, who you picking?
Right, good question. Well, like, obviously, my number 1 pick, which I'm kind of at the minute really wanted in my team, is Aubameyang, and I knew he'd score straight away against Newcastle. Like, he's been looking so razor sharp in pre-season. It's not right. Like, he's so sharp. I couldn't believe how sharp he was looking. The best I've ever seen him look for us. So I would definitely be putting him in. And then after that, that's where it gets a little shady because
after one.
See, that's what I said. Like, I wouldn't go putting much more. See, like Chambers, I've seen a few people had Chambers in their team, and I love Callum Chambers. Like, I've been his advocate. I'm the one. Like, all my friends are arguing with me, saying like, "What are we going to do for like the whole Arsenal dilemma? Like over the summer, we need a centre back. What are we going to do?" Like, I was kind of like gone past that. They're like, we're buying Pep, but he's not a centre back. The whole bullshit. I'm like, relax. Like, we've got a lot of centre backs at the club. Especially Rob Holding, like I just said, like earlier said, he's coming back from injury. That's like a new signing. Bellerin, they're 2 defensive players coming back. We have like already Socrates, we have Mavrabanas, the other Greece fella coming through. We have like Chambers, we have like, and then Mustafi. Obviously, I know people don't want to hear it, but he's not as bad as he's a scapegoat right now between Arsenal supporters. He's not actually that bad a player if you look at his statistics from the end of last season as well. But he looks like he's moving on too. But Chambers would be a good shout because he kept a clean sheet. But can he do that every week with Arsenal? I don't know, because that was actually equally. And would you believe beating Newcastle at the weekend, the first game of the season, equaled our away record for clean sheets last season?
That's fucking crazy.
So, it's crazy in the whole season. So, like, there you go. That's a stat in itself. Now, I can't touch no Arsenal defenders. Leno, I love. Leno was, like, honestly, I was considering Leno because, like I said, he's 5 million. He's not too expensive, not 6 million. He's not 4.5. He's a little upgrade. You're expecting Arsenal, like, to do a little bit better than these other teams, but we don't keep clean sheets away from home. That's what I was totally worried about. Like, that statistic was the last 2 years we've been terrible away. Like, we never used to be that bad. So, but I was thinking he might get saves, like, which would be good, but I just couldn't take a chance. But like, then you look at Maitland-Niles, like, he's looked so good as well, but he's not a natural right back, and he is going to make mistakes. So I really wouldn't be going. But actually, there's a few nice little, like, 4.5s and, like, gems, like, you know, like Reece Nelson, like, he's looking like he's getting minutes. Willock as well. I love Willock. Joe Willock is 4.5. He's a monster in that midfield already. He's a great centre mid player. He's already starting, like, from the academy. That's another thing. Emery's after bringing through 3 or 4 academy players. Have all signed professional contracts. They're all after integrating up into the first team. Like, it's exciting, young stuff. Like, I can't wait. We have a great academy too. And then, so, like, Freddie Ljungberg, Arsenal legend, went from the coach of the youth academy to Emery, one of Emery's number 2, basically, assistant coach, because he wants to transition all the young players from Arsenal into the first team fold. So who better to do it than the man that's been working with the young guys for the last 3-4 years? So now he's like, he's giving them insight and knowledge and, like, information onto young players that Emery didn't really possess before. So I'm really excited. So look out for the young players at Arsenal. They're going to be getting a lot of points, I think, over the season.
Next up, we got United Chelsea, which was the capper on the weekend. Everyone's pretty much looking forward to this game, but it was more of a, like, just because these are 2 known powerhouses, but Chelsea's not who you think they are, and they're not going to be there until this transfer ban's over.
Yeah, and even, like, and plus it's just total new territory with Frank Lampard. This is the big time now, you know, Derby, whatever, like, and I think he can be a big manager. It's in his blood. Look at his uncle, Harry Redknapp, his uncle, his father, his uncles are all, like, a West Ham, like, they're all coaches. Right. It's in his blood. Like, he knows football. Don't get it wrong. This man, he's going to be a successful manager. And I love how he's gone with youth, because I do the exact same. If I was him, Tammy Abraham is a quality player. As Kurt Zouma is a quality player too. Like, so he's after filling them holes. They're saying, where's the centre back? Here's Kurt Zouma. Doesn't have to buy him. He's already a part of the club. Bring him back. He's after getting experience at Stoke, at Everton, on loan. He's back in the fold. Then you have Tammy Abraham up front. He's at Villa. He scored a heap of goals. Like, the season before, he scored a lot of goals in the Championship. So, like, I think it's not going to be as bad for Chelsea as we've seen now with the Super Cup that just happened. The Super Club. Like, they brought Liverpool to the wire, you know, so, like, it's going to be not as bad as people make out. But yeah, that scoreline doesn't do it any justice, because I think if things could have went so differently, if Emerson's shot went in, or if Tammy Abraham's first shot didn't hit the post, and that's 2-0, 3-0 straight away. So I think it's kind of like, that's why everyone's jumping ship now to Man United. They're looking like, and Man United is a top club, so you're looking like good club. They're going to have good returns. They're going to have, like, goals.
I just think, like, in this game, if Chelsea just want to... I think if you go after fucking Pogba and make him mad, their whole team collapses.
Yeah, I think Pogba loves... I think, though, people have a missed position, like, with Pogba. They have, like, they think that he's, like, total... Nobody wants to work him. They hate him in the club. Him and Ollie actually get on really well. Like, he knows him since he's a kid. Like, he gets on really well with him. Like, he actually wants to build a team around him, I believe. Right. And he's actually, if you look at the weekend, Pogba last year was playing a lot more like a little bit more up the midfield, a bit more attacking, a bit more like on the end ball. Whereas now, at the weekend, he was playing a lot more deeper. If you look at his statistics, he was deeper. And which I believe is his best position, because if you put him deeper, he can dictate the game. Then, like, he can control things, he can do things, like, make things happen, which is a lot more natural for him and easier for him than trying to put him higher up and try and make him get on the end of things or whatever. But so I actually believe And I think he's actually getting on really well in Manchester. It's all just, you're always going to get talk and that. Like that, I think then Mourinho, like everyone's just, like, you know, like thinking because of Mourinho.
Mourinho always taking fucking shots at people.
Mourinho's always falling out with big stars, man. He did it at Madrid, he did it at Inter Milan, he did it at Chelsea, the second round, he did it at Man United. He does it all the time. He falls out with big players. He likes to be the biggest man in the dressing room. He likes to put them in, like, he can't have them, like, being too big for their boots or whatever. So he likes, and that's where the problems occur. And Pogba was going to, of course, fight back with him. Like, now that that's gone, we can't keep labeling Pogba as the same, you know, detrimental to the squad player when he's not. When obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves him. So, like, it's. I think Pogba could be a great fantasy option. And I think, like, a lot of people are going to look to him. So I think, like, Martial, if they keep doing what they're doing, and we're going to see against Wolves, I think Martial and Pogba and Rashford could be coming into a lot of people's teams. And that's what the problem is. A lot of people are Manchester United supporters that play fantasy football. So a lot of the prices are after changing already because every United fan just did well. And that's why we've got a lot of high scores.
Right.
Because that last game just put anyone that had the United players in just got, like, ridiculous scores, you know. So it's actually, as an opening, I got 90 points, and I thought that was pretty good. But when I look across the board, everybody got, like, high-end points, you know what I mean? From 70 to 90, or, you know.
Right.
So it's not really... And I think that's been down to the Man United, a lot of supporters that would... Like, the way you want to put Man City into your team.
Right.
So, like, we all do that at the start. Like, I want to do Arsenal. You're trying to squeeze in because you love the team. You want to see them do well, but...
Right.
Kind of like, you got to, like...
Yeah, in fantasy, it definitely... More times than not, it backfires.
Yeah, for sure. Unless you're a Man City supporter, which it doesn't really. The only thing you have to worry about is rotation.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Goals are there.
Moving on to week 2. Just predictions for the games. Yeah. We'll do that real quick.
Do that real quick.
Arsenal Burnley. It looks like Arsenal's at home.
Yeah, I just see an easy Arsenal win right here. Not easy because Burnley are combative or whatever, but Barnes could get his goal here. But I think we should see like a 3-1 Arsenal. I'm thinking.
I was actually about to say the same exact score.
Yeah. Hopefully not. So we should keep a track of our scores. So next time we get on, we can see who got them right or whatever. You know.
Arsenal 3-1. Yeah, I usually write it down.
Yeah, write that down.
Aston Villa, Bournemouth.
Yeah, this is a good one now. I'm hoping the two Wilson and King and Fraser can make up for the first game week blank, if you ask me. So, but I'm thinking Villa concede a lot of shots, so this is going to be a good game. I'm thinking Bournemouth 2-1 maybe. 2-1.
I was actually going 2-1 with Villa over Bournemouth.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, they're at home. Villa could do it either. Bournemouth are shit away from home, so that's a good chance that can happen.
Brighton Hove, West Ham.
Yeah, Brighton Albion, West Ham. I'm thinking West Ham need to bounce back after that mauling at the weekend. So at Brighton, though, and at home, they're defensively sound. So that's going to be a good game, tight game. So, that's going to be. It's hard to know what kind of Brighton's going to turn out.
I'm fucking buying into the hype. I'm going to go 1-0 Brighton. Fucking.
Yeah, it could happen. I just think in West Ham, with the players they have and Wilshere's looking good, and they've got like good play. Lanzini's back, and I'm gonna go like maybe a 2-2 draw or like a I don't know. Yeah, 2-2 draw. I'm gonna go.
All right. Everton Watford. Everton at home.
Ooh, Marco Silva coming back to his old club. So is Richarlison, the club he stole him from. They're going a little drama there. I'm thinking Watford need to bounce back. Something shocking too. But Everton at home, I'm thinking 2-0 Everton.
That's the same exact score I had.
Yeah.
Norwich Newcastle, the relegation bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Calling it.
I think like Norwich at home, they're going to come like they have come to Liverpool. If they can score at Liverpool, they can score Newcastle against Newcastle. That's for sure. So, I think Newcastle played all right though on their Steve Bruce. I'm not going to. They actually played well against us. And that Joe Linton fella is a handful up there. Let me tell you, that's why I was more impressed with Chambers, because that Joe Linton fella is a big man. Like, and he's a target, and he's like going to put himself about. So, I'm thinking maybe that's going to be like I don't know, 2-1 Norwich.
2-1 Norwich. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Yeah. Southampton versus Liverpool. So Liverpool B versus Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. And they always do well. Like Liverpool always seem to put them to the sword as well. So I'm thinking like a 3-1, like a treating, like I don't know, Liverpool. Let me see. 3-0 Liverpool. I'm gonna go out on a limb here
and say, oh, Liverpool had a game today, so I won't go to 6.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna say 4-0 Liverpool.
Yeah.
And fucking the Saints will be cheering for Liverpool when they score too, because it's pretty much their team.
Yeah, and plus the Southampton at home though are better, so I'm hoping that they mightn't get bet as bad. It might be 2-0, but yeah, I said 3-0.
Then
City was.
this is probably the. This is the matchup.
It's not going to be that kind of 4-3 that tight. I think it's going to be more like a 2-0 City or like a 2-1 City. I think it's going to be like a tight City victory though. But like I said, I want it to be like 2-0, but something tells me 2-1. I don't know though. I can't see 2-0 City. I'm gonna go 2-0.
2-0 City. Fucking that Asian Sun guy is gonna score. I fucking know it. So.
I don't know. He hasn't been in this fold though. He's been out. Like he hasn't.
Him or Dele Alli, one of those guys will fucking score. Not Harry Kane.
But I think Harry Kane might because they're injured actually. They're carrying. They're not fit basically.
But I'm
as a whole. But yeah,
I'm gonna go.
Might be 2-1. I think.
I'm gonna go 3-1 just because I'm still pissed about fucking Champions League. Just to be serious. Yeah. Still pissed about that.
Of course. You should never. That should have been you going through for sure. Definitely.
Then we got Sheffield versus Palace on Sunday.
It's an interesting one too. I think Sheffield are going to do really well. I think Palace haven't found their feet. They've lost Wan-Bissaka. Sa's head was turned a little bit. But they still did well, like 0-0. I think they're still solid enough. They got like James McCarthy, young Irish, he's old now, 28 Irishman defensive mid from Everton. I think Sheffield played great football though. Got a lot of Irish lads there, Stevens and Callum Robinson, and like their two strikers are Irish, like McGoldrick and Robinson, like two Irish lads up there, and they're like electric. They're quick boys. So, I don't know. Let me see at home. I'd say 2-2. I think something like that, maybe. I think 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1 Sheffield United. Fuck it.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Palace. I think Zaha.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm going with the Irish. But yeah, I'm going with my heart on my head here.
Chelsea versus Leicester.
This is going to be a good game too because Chelsea need to come out of the blocks a bit, and Chelsea need to prove something. So, and they're at home though. Stamford Bridge is a tough place. I think Leicester though, like Brendan Rodgers, I didn't get to see the game, so and I'm disappointed at the 0-0. I'm wondering, they didn't sound like they created a lot, so I'm thinking that's a good one now. Chelsea should win. 2-1 Chelsea.
I got the same goal differential, and we go 3-2 Chelsea. I think their first home game, Lampard, they're just gonna be those like youngsters are just gonna be ready to fucking ball out.
And they had a good showing against Liverpool today as well, so they'll be a lot more confident now. They needed that.
And then the last game of the week, we got Wolves versus United.
This is why it's the last game. I love Monday night. Yeah, it's gonna be a good, very good game. I think. If we're going by the Wolves that we had last season and the United we had last season, this is Wolves are going to win this probably 2-0, but I think United are a different team. I still think the Wolves are very strong. 2-1 Wolves, but I have a feeling maybe 2-2 or 2-2.
2-2.
No, I think United. No, just 2-1 Wolves. But I think it's going to be 2-1 United. But I'm going to go 2-1 Wolves.
I'm gonna go. This is a biased pick. Wolves 1-0. Fuck United.
Hopefully, I still want to. Yeah, fuck United. This is not fuck United. Sorry, I was a United fan. We're like fuck you.
But
yeah, no, it's gonna be a good game though.
They just talk so much shit after beating Chelsea, and it was like not even a good Chelsea team. Like I just want them to get fucking exposed.
Yeah. They're hanging out. They're becoming the Liverpool. They're becoming the Arsenal support. Like we used to have. They're starting to realize that they're out of the loop for. They haven't won the league since 2013 or something. They're not going to win it for a long time. It looks like so. I think they're finally coming to realize that they're not the top dogs anymore. Because at one time they were they're financially they are and all that and stature wise, but football wise not so much anymore. But it's good. Everyone needs to be taking up their high horse every now and again. So I'm happy.
So this week, I'll just go to my fantasy team real quick.
Let me see your team.
Let's see here. So I'm gonna keep Leno in goal versus Burnley.
Yeah,
I actually
definitely.
made him my vice captain for some weird reason. Might change
Yeah,
that.
change that. Yeah.
Ake versus Villa. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good fixture for
Uh,
a clean sheet potential.
I got Dunk versus West Ham. I like that.
Yeah.
Newcastle. Las
Cells,
Skillas
yeah.
versus
Cells, yeah. He's
Norwich. I'm happy with
could be, yeah,
that.
that's a good one for him, yeah. Good fixture.
As you guys can see, I got Jimenez on the bench, even though I've been talking shit about United this whole time. I actually, when it's time to, start him or not, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with Firmino and Lacazette.
Yeah. See, like I said, you gotta like just keep an eye on his fitness. Like keep trying to see it. Always like look at Fridays they have press conferences a lot before the weekend games. So like Emery should talk Friday about who's fit, who's ready to go, and so that's why I like to leave my pick to like the last to them moments to like Friday night, Saturday morning at the latest. But
Right,
so like maybe keep an eye on Lacazette because if he doesn't start again, that's just a waste of a lot of money that you don't want, to do that. So you're better off maybe looking at can you move people around to get an Aubameyang or can you go to a Wilson or somewhere around that 8 million, 10 million range.
right. My captain this week's gonna be Firmino. I think fucking Liverpool is gonna give it to Southampton.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, then I got De Bruyne, Sterling, and Silva starting. They probably all three won't start, but if they do, I'll be happy about that.
Yeah, they
Uh,
should. De Bruyne and Sterling will definitely start.
Then I got
Yeah, for sure.
Richarlison because I figured going against Watford, maybe
Watford, his
he'll,
old club.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
me too.
then
I'm hoping to get a goal there.
Conte against Leicester. Conte is like not really what you would want as a pick right here
No,
because 5 points,
too
but
defensive.
yeah, he's actually gonna be defensive this year like he was
Yeah,
normally.
exactly. Before,
He's
yeah,
not
and
gonna be
he's
playing
normal
out of
manager.
position like
Yeah,
Sarri had him. So
yeah. But like, you want to be looking? Yeah, there's options there at the 5 million mark. Like, if we've seen like the likes of Joe Willock, like I said, at Arsenal, 5 million, like, and he's looking electric. See his tackle against John Shelby, like he nearly scored as well. Like that's a fight. Like then you've Pereira for Man United. That's a good option. 5 million to get in on the United kind of fall, even though he didn't look too good. But he's on corners and set pieces. Pereira, he's only 5 million. So yeah, there's not really many other options at that kind of price bracket. But and there's even like a lot of 4.5s or March, the plays for Brighton. He takes set pieces too. And we see how Brighton are a lot attacking. He got 90 minutes the other day too, and he came out with 3 points for Brighton. So there's a few options, that you could be looking. Because I know, like Kante, Chelsea, you're thinking, yeah, like, but realistically, you're going to get maybe 3 points every week with him, like, and you're not going to get many goals. Like McGinn is 5.5. If you could scrape up a 5.5 somewhere, you've got a guy that can score against Tottenham, that can score against, and has a great run, that can score many goals. That's a bigger return for the same kind of money.
right.
But
Um,
yeah. Who do you have? Yeah, so that's your team. I should have sent you a picture of my team. You could have put it up or something.
yeah, I was trying to look because if we just joined the same league, I'd have access to see your team or
Yeah, or I
whatever.
can send you. If you look at the tops, if you're on a laptop or a computer, and you go to your points, you hit points in your your fantasy, and then you look at your top bar. It'll say your number up there of who you are. Like mine's 86846. So if you type that into, sometimes you can type that into some websites and you can bring up my whole team. That's what I do sometimes for top players to like a comparison of teams and stuff.
Actually, I wonder if I could just invite you to a league because
Yeah,
I
we can do
mean,
that either. I can
uh,
send you screenshots maybe too.
yeah, screenshot would work actually. Oh,
I can send it.
create and join, renew your leagues. You have no leagues to renew.
Yeah, create a private league between the two of us maybe or something.
Invite friends. Here you go.
Yeah,
I'll send you a code right now,
sweet.
and then you can just join this one. I think this is a bunch of FIFA
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, sweet. But yeah, we'll have a look at yeah. I'm pretty confident. That's why I don't think I'm gonna make any transfers this week at all. Because it's not really. There's no sample size really to be like bringing in players and stuff. Alright, give me a second. Join. Alright, join that league now. You should be able to look at my team.
Okay. Let's see here. Points. leagues. I think I did FIFA bands.
Well, my team's name is Womb Raider. If you see it, see Garrett Robinson, I should be under it.
All right, let me refresh.
It'll probably take a minute.
Yeah, you said you had 90 points, so you'd be at the top. I think the highest on this was 88. Unless it doesn't add it to next week.
Oh, that's exactly. If you look down at the bottom of the league, it'll say incoming players or like to be added next week.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Down to the bottom of the names, yeah.
Yeah, I got you pulled up now.
Sweet.
So we got Pope in that?
Yeah, I got Pope. It was a tough one between him and Ryan, like I said. And Ryan's fixtures are pretty much more favourable than Pope because Pope has Arsenal, Wolves, and Liverpool like back to back. So like, but I'm hoping he'll get the saves like he did in the first game week. He got 8, which is a good return for 4.5.
Alexander Arnold, good. I mean, fucking most assists ever by fucking.
Takes free kicks, takes corners, takes set pieces. Like, what more do you want? Like, and he's ability to get like crosses in there.
So I see what you did with this back line. I mean, you got all fullbacks besides Van Dijk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Smart.
Like, I'd rather have all fullbacks. Yeah, I was thinking even not having Van Dijk and putting another fullback in there, but I knew he'd score. Like, because especially if like Trent or Alexander can get the balls into the box to him, so it just proved like everything that I hoped would worked out. Like Digne went with, was hoping more of attack and return. Like that's another thing we should look at. Look at Everton's fixtures; they're off the hook. Like they're Watford next, Aston Villa, Wolves, Bournemouth, Sheffield. Like they've only Man City and then the Burnley, West Ham, Brighton. They have like in the next 10 weeks they've one hard game. Like,
right.
Realistically, they could get like so. I'm looking at. That's why I doubled up with Everton, like with Richarlison and with Digne. I'm hoping between the two of them, I can get a lot of points there.
Yeah, I'm hoping Richarlison fucking plays like he's on the fucking, you know.
Have patience. We'll just go next week. Try and watch the game. Try and watch the Watford Everton game. I still believe to this day, no matter what statistics, no matter what, when I look at a game, I get such a good grasp of what players are doing or which are coming to form, which are not in form, which I should move on. And that only comes with watching a game. You know what I mean? Like, it's very hard to replicate that, I think. An eye test is very valuable.
Right.
But then, then you can see I have Perez out the wing. I'm very disappointed in Perez and Richarlison. They are my two kind of fillers, like, you know, like trimmings to add into because my team's expensive, like from the back, like the 3 Liverpool players, 2 City, 2 Everton. Like I've covered, like that's a lot only in like 3 teams, you know.
Are you one of those guys that always uses max points?
What you mean?
Like some people go in under 100.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I always use the max points. Like I never leave anything to spare.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, for sure, definitely. Like, see my bench, you can see then too. I don't spend any money on my bench. It's like 4.5, 4 million, which Lundstrom was good. He played for Sheffield United. He nearly got an assist in the first minute of the game. He actually got a bonus point, which in fantasy football terms, for a 4 million guy that's playing out of position, he's down as a defender for some reason in fantasy football, but he's actually playing as a centre mid with the potential to get assists and clean sheets. He got 3, he got a bonus point, and he got taken off early, so I'm happy with that. Then Donker should have scored, was disallowed for an earlier handball from Bolly. So, like, my bench is looking pretty lively. Wickham came on for Palace. He used to be a top. I don't know if you know Connor Wickham.
Yeah.
Sunderland. Yeah, like, he was good prospect, top English prospect. Like, good finisher, like, solid player. And injuries just back. Sorry, I got disconnected there. But injuries have ruined his career. So he's back, like, and I'm hoping, like, he's a nice little lad to have on your bench that he might come on and get a goal or two, you know. But you don't want. That's the thing. Last year, you would not believe the amount of points I had on my bench in the first 6-7 game weeks. I had like 22, 16, 12, 11. Like I was like freaking out. I had better. My bench was doing better than my team. Like at some points, like the players. And I was just because I tried to do a thing where I tried to balance out the money. I tried to put as much money. I evenly spread it out everywhere, hoping I could cover all bases. But what I ended up doing was being pissed off and disappointed for the whole looking at all the points that was accumulated on my bench. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm never doing that again. I was like, I'm putting all my money. I never want to have that dilemma where my bench is doing better than my team. So I actually would have done so much better last year if I played. Like I would pick the right players, but I had them on the bench. It's crazy.
Oh no, that's all. Like this fantasy is very simple, but there's there's little points that you learn every year. Like, one year I used my fucking captain, and my buddy's like, oh, you used a captain? That's stupid. You should have did your double captain on a game where you had
double
game week. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even think about that.
I know. I see, that's why people took the risk of Sterling, like, which is evidently paid off, but it's such a fucking risk to put. Like, they basically went triple captain on the opening game of the season, like, and then that could have went wrong, and he could have not got any goals, and you've just like, and then you've listed out, and they've seen he actually, that 60-point return is just as good, if not better, than 2 game weeks. That's like scored 3 games. Like, he's not going to probably do that in a double game week. So it actually worked out. Whoever did that, fair play to you. Anyone that took that risk and put triple captain on Sterling, that took balls, and it worked out. You got rewarded for it.
Seriously.
Yeah. And then up front, I have the 2 boys, Wilson and fucking King, and King takes penalties for Bournemouth. I was thinking 2 promotional sides back-to-back fixtures. You know what I mean? I was thinking playing Sheffield United and playing Aston Villa. Like, that's 2 great opening fixtures to have for strikers. And I was going to go with Fraser and like have Jota. I had Jota in from day 1 too. And I really like Jota. And so this is my strategic move now. Now I'm feeling like King's not doing it. So I'm going to keep, and Man City's coming soon after this game, so I'm like, I'm not really feeling, there was more of like a 3-4 game week plan, so I'm thinking of getting him out. Maybe if Richarlison hasn't done it by game week 3, he's coming out. Same with Perez. So they're my 3 movable players right now, Perez, King, and Richarlison. That'll free up nice money. I'm thinking of bringing McGinn and Martial in. That's Martial will be coming in for Richarlison. That's 7.5, 7.6, so I'm freeing up 0.5. Then if I bring in McGinn for Perez, that's freeing up $1 million. So I'm after freeing up 1.5 million. Then I can throw that on top of the 6.5 for King and bring in another like 7 or 8, try and stretch to Vardy maybe, or maybe just go back to Jota and like put the money somewhere else. You know.
Yeah, I thought about Vardy too.
Vardy's great, man. Look at his stats. He's scored goals against all the top teams, against all the low. He's basically scored goals since he's been in the league. Like it's just that he can go like yesterday with it's 8 million, 9 million. It's 9 million. Sorry, that's a big part of the budget to take on. Like, you know, he's not really prolific as we say at the minute. I need to see him score 2 weeks in a row before I decide to make that change.
Yeah,
I just thought Perez was cheap.
Next week I'll make some changes for sure because
are you going to keep your transfer
this week I'm keeping it. Next week Lacazette will be on the block because I really thought he was going to start every game, and I'm not sold on that.
It's just the injury. You would have been, if he didn't have the injury, I guarantee you he would have started, and you would have been looking at probably a goal because he's been like, he is sharp, especially when it comes to like teams like Newcastle and stuff like that. He'd definitely get a goal. But yeah, like the whole tie, that's my advice. Like, don't spend your free transfer. Let it spill over till next week. You're going to get 2 free transfers. You're going to have extra data. You're going to have extra time. You're going to see a lot more games. You're going to see a lot more stuff work out. So then you can see if Martial does it against Wolves, I'm definitely bringing him in. If Jota even gets a goal or his numbers are up there for shots taken in the box and stuff, I'm going to look at bringing him in. So that's like a kind of double switch. But I'm going to wait. That's another one of my weaknesses. I never used to take a point deduction. And last year and the year before, I started getting like impatient and like taking 4 points and 8 point deductions. Risks.
I did that too.
Just thinking if I bring this player in, he'll score and it'll make up for the 4 points. And it's just detrimental to your overall. Like, I say, I lost hundreds of points just doing that like over the years. So it's not worth it. Just keep solid, and you really should be picking your team for the first 3 or 4 weeks in mind anyway. You know what I mean? You just 1 week shouldn't make your whole team be like, I gotta use a wild card, and after 1 week it shouldn't be like that. You should have loved the preseason, but sure, that's the joy of the game, I suppose. That's why I think we could talk over the podcast if we do another one or whatever. Just talk more about statistics, and people can have more of an insight. And it's not as easy as just picking your favorite players. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. Yeah, dude. I've learned a lot over the past, however long I've been doing this. Probably like it's got to have been 5+ years I've been doing this. 'Cause I learned something new every year too, with just how you should play. And then they added stuff too, like the bench boost. And then the triple captain, that wasn't always there. Yeah.
To change up the chips a little bit sometimes, and like I've been playing since 2012, or like you think you can look at my history on the thing, but I did so well a couple of years, and then like every year I've been slowly. And like I told you before, I've moved to America, so that's really what kind of hampered my fantasy football, like whatever developments, because like it's hard to get up at 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. and watch the games. You know what I mean? Try and get games in.
Right.
And, like it's.
Oh yeah, I just looked at my fucking history. Looks like I've been doing this since 2013,
See?
and last year was a down year.
Well, last year was a tough year for everyone. That was my worst year because you have to remember there's like 6 million players now, like, and it's crazy. Like when I first started, there was like 2 million or 3 million. You know, like it's grown ridiculously. So it's getting harder and harder. There's way more information available. There's way more knowledge. Like I'm on some of the sites I'm using now, like for stats and stuff and differentials and like for price change and like websites and like what. Like I'm gone deep down the rabbit hole. So. And it's just like madness, like it's really statistics and data that's behind it. So that's why I advise everyone just take your time and not rush into any transfers.
Yeah, it looks like you peaked in your second season.
Yeah, I was doing so well, exactly. Yeah, I was like fucking doing so good. Early on, I started really good. Like it was just natural to me. I was picking Van Persie captain. It was like everything was working out for me. I used to watch so many games, man. I used to watch like all the games. I love not just my own team. Like I used to watch any game of football. Me and my friends just sit around and just analyze football and just watch football all day, every day. Even like German football, French football, Italian, like Spanish, everything. So I got so much minutes of eye tests where I could just make decisions on, oh, this player looks like he's hitting form, this player is not in form. So I was doing really well on that alone. But the game's changed now. Like people are going deep in statistics, and it's more than just eye tests and stuff. And that's where I lost out because I moved to America and fantasy football. I put it on the back burner, you know. Yeah. It's just this year I'm really going to give it my all, you know. So hopefully I can continue with this good points. Like 90 is a good score, and like it's not much difference. Like anything from 80 to 100 or whatever, you're doing good. Even like anything in that bracket.
Yeah, I wanted to do a podcast on this because, dude, I play this and I want to like make sure I'm paying attention because I actually do have fun with it. I think people kind of like trail off at the end where they kind of forget. So I kind of wanted to just keep up with it because, and I just like talking about it. I mean,
yeah, it's great, and it brings your knowledge of football to a new level because you're watching more games, you're learning like what players are doing in and out. Like, and you really after a couple of years, you're like, yeah, you see more games. Your level of your knowledge of the Premier League will rise just from watching a couple of games.
It's not like American football either with the draft where they draft a player and he's off the board. So like I like that aspect of it too, where everyone's on the fucking same playing field. If you didn't choose the right player, you just didn't fucking choose the right player. Yeah, exactly.
And like if your team is more successful, you get rewarded for being successful. You know what I mean? It's like in American football, you kind of get rewarded for being not successful. You're like you're the shittest. Oh, here's the best player. Like, you know what I mean? Like when it's like in England, like in football, it's like you're the shittest. Here's the worst player. You know what I mean? So
dude, I wish they fucking had relegation in the NFL. Fucking the Lions will be up in Canada.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
We should have like lesser teams coming up, like that are willing to take this place and like give them a chance at the limelight. Like you need recycling. You need like old being washed out and like new coming in. Like you need to keep it competitive, to keep it interesting, to keep the dynamics there. Like, do you know how many stories like teams are loving a championship, are dying to get promoted. Like that's their life. It's like. And they're getting all those. Some of them, like Bournemouth, came from like League Two, man, like League One, like Championship, all the way up. So like, I think Fraser's been there since League Two. Like Adam Lallana for Southampton was there since League Two as well. Look at him now at Liverpool. It's like a lot of these players are like growing with the clubs.
Dude, I feel so fucking bad for Rodriguez, who's coming up with Lallana.
Burnley, is that Burnley now? Jay Rodriguez.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's with West Brom.
Oh, you know, he's gone. He signed for Burnley just before. He went to West Brom. Yeah, he used to be. Yeah, he is at West Brom. Jay Rodriguez. He's a quality player. He's at Southampton.
Man, he was gonna come over with Lallana, then he fucking tore his ACL and fucking.
Exactly. Yeah, he's quality, man. Jay Rodriguez could have had a better career for sure, but he's like went to West Brom, scored a few goals, and now he's long. Now Burnley are like smart. They've like really like don't have a lot of money, so. They just filled in. It's good to like mix him in, throw him in with Barnes and Woods. Like, and they're already scoring. Like, it's just Sean Dyche is a genius of a manager. I love what Burnley are doing, and Bournemouth. All them kind of lesser clubs do a great job.
All right, well, we'll be back next Wednesday. Check in, see how you did, see how I did.
Sure, man.
I might do this Zaha transfer by the weekend.
Just wait till Friday. That's my only advice to everybody. Wait till Friday to make a decision because, like we said, remember the Super Club game happened with Liverpool Chelsea. That could have had an injury or something could have came fruition there where you could have made a decision that you've already made. You're like, oh fuck, I can't believe we brought him in.
Yeah.
He just got injured in that game, or like, you know, or like internet. There's always like an aspect or like things. So always like, and you always wait for like the manager's press conferences. That's what I do because it gives you a total insight into who's playing and right. But maybe you brought Saha in now, and then Hodgson goes like at the weekend, oh like Saha because he's out with a muscle injury. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You're like, oh my god, or like what the fuck? Why didn't I just wait? You know?
Yeah.
But no, it's good to, yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll come back and talk about it next time for sure.
All right. Well, yeah, man, it was fun.
Definitely.
Yeah, we went for like an hour and a half, so it was good.
I talked a lot of shit. I had a lot to get off my chest. I overwent, but fuck it. I put like a whole season's content in one episode.
But yeah, dude, share it with people. I mean, people come back and watch it. I mean, everyone not always watch it live. I definitely have people listen to it like later on during the week. But yeah, man, it'll be cool.
Yeah. They send me it on. I'll get a few people back home to listen to it as well, or start like fucking getting on it. We can get a few more people on different stages, maybe have different insights as well.
Yeah, for sure. Open to that, for sure, 100%.
Definitely. All right, bro.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later, and thanks for tuning in for you guys that came and checked us out. Peace.
Thanks, everybody. Peace out.